Hello, and welcome to Homer for December 20th, 2024. And even as a hound pursueth with swift feet after a wild boar or lion, it snatcheth at him from behind, either at flank or buttock, and watcheth for him as he wheeleth, even so Hector pressed upon the long-haired Achaeans, ever slaying the hindmost, and they were driven in rout. But when in their flight they had passed through stakes and trench, and many had been vanquished beneath the hands of the Trojans, then beside their ships they halted and abode, calling upon the other, and lifting up their hands to all the gods they made fervent prayer, each man of them. But Hector wheeled this way and that his fair-maned horses, and his eyes were as the eyes of the Gorgon or of Ares, bane of mortals. Hostotetis tecuon suos agrio eleontos, hapte tai katopiste posin taces diokon, isciate glutuste, helisomenon te doceoe, hos Hector pas decare comon tesacai iusai enopoc deinon ton apistaton, hoi de pebonto. Autare pediate skolopas kai tafron ebesan, Peugon tes polloi de damen troon hypocersin, hoi men de paraneosinere tuon tomenontes, aleloi site keklomenoi kai pasiteoisi, keiras aniskon tes megaleo ketoon to hekastos, Hector dam fiperis stropha kalitricas hippus, gorgus matekon de protoloi guareios. Great. Yeah, that's good. What is cool about this passage? Right, so as the dog chases after the wild boar, as a lion grasps on its, from behind with its, swift feet, it's hunting it, and it's grabbing it by the hip or its butt, and it appears, watches it, twirling around as thus keeps grasp over that. Thus Hector rushed the long-haired Achaeans along, and he was always killing the ones that are most far back, and they all fled. And then once they had gone across the pointed crosses in the ground, this ditch, crossed it, and they're fleeing. Many of them had died from the Trojans under the Trojans' hands, and they then at that moment were by their ships, and they were restrained, and they were remaining there. And among each other, they were calling to each other and to all the gods, raising up their hands. They prayed, each of them, muchly. But Hector was still whirling around, amphi peristropha. He was stropha-ing around, very much so, peri. His fine-haired horses, and he had eyes. Much like the Gorgon, or the warlike Ares. And what do we like about this passage? Well, this passage is a great example of a Homeric simile. We love a Homeric simile. It's interesting that the dog is chasing down the lion or the wild boar. Boars and lions are bigger than dogs. Maybe it's like a metaphor for, Hector as the single driver away of the Achaeans, right? Or rather, there's the power dynamic between the hunter, the hunted, and the hunter's tools. So the dog is controlled by the hunter. The hunter here would be Zeus, right? We talked about him yesterday, who is propelling Hector onward. And the dog, even though it's chasing something that's much bigger than it, it has the courage to do so because of the fact that it knows it's going to win. And it knows it's going to win because, I guess dogs are conditioned to do so. They have a lot of faith, right? But here, right, you have a variety of different factors that's making Hector so confidently go after the Achaeans. And there's an element of, this is such a powerful reference, right, to the monster that is terrified by looks, right? It is a very warlike thing. You can transfigure your face into a gorgon if you'd like, right? But it's just it's a epitome of fearfulness coming from who is otherwise a very beautiful person, right? We've all seen that. And then the Achaeans, with they're well-headed, right? But nonetheless, there's got to be one of them that's in the back. And if you're in the back while you're being chased, then you will get grabbed by the ravenous dog that will not stop until it gets you. Anyway, some good stuff to explore here. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed and have a great one.